Here we go. It is one of my favorite times of the week, visiting with Cooper Mays, the Fall Report, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. Coop, how are you, sir?
I can't complain one bit. How are you?
Yep. Absolutely. I'm fantastic. I can't complain at all. I like your Metallica shirt, by the way.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
so that's pretty strong. That's pretty strong. Saw them in concert. Maybe we can go do that together sometime.
No doubt, man. I'm super down.
That's right. We'll write it off as a company expense. so
Got to.
yeah, let's get rolling into the season as it has begun, and I want to talk a lot about NC State. But first, just I want to give you guys kudos because I have been around a lot of football teams that might have overlooked Chattanooga with a ranked opponent down the line. Um, and you guys didn't do that. I wasn't surprised, but I was impressed. How close do you think you guys played, specifically when the first team's on the field, to your expectations?
I don't really, man. That's a good question. I think we did some good stuff. I mean, there's obviously room for improvement, and nothing's going to be perfect. But I think it was a good showing for our first real time playing ball together as a unit. Against another team. I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Nico, after the game, said that the only thing that he wasn't crazy about, and Josh Heupel said it leading into halftime on television, said was the way it ended, and he said keep you've got to keep your foot on their throat. Was that maybe the one thing that you take away from the game?
I think so. I mean, we scored. What we scored in the first half, like 45, something like that. I mean,
Yeah, you guys weren't hurting.
right. I mean, we did. There's room for improvement. You know what I'm saying? I will say that, but I felt like we came out there and handled the business the way that we should. I was pretty happy about it. But yes, there's definitely room for improvement.
Did you find yourself at any point before we get to NC State kind of peeking over at Nico's first start at Neyland Stadium is different than starting against a bowl team where he has plenty of time to prepare and he's a little bit of an unknown. But there's pressure starting at home. I mean, you know that because you're from Knoxville. How did you think he handled it?
I think he did really good. I think he's always been kind of the same guy every day, and like you said, there's a little bit of an unknown that he hasn't played in Neyland, and I'm sure that he was feeling a little bit of nerves originally, but you can't tell that, and obviously the way he played, you couldn't tell that either. So, um, I think he did a really good job, and he kind of handled it like a pro.
Let's turn it to NC State. He is Cooper Mays, Tennessee's center, and it's brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. The Vol Report brought to you by cityheatandair.com. Integrity matters. Over 50 years in East Tennessee, and we ask that you please hit that like and subscribe button and turn the notifications on as well so you'll know when we drop the next Vol Report with Cooper Mays. So you look at NC State, think naturally, just based off opponents, it's going to be a step up. What do you think of them defensively?
I think they do some really good stuff defensively from kind of just an all around standpoint. I think they're a hard nosed defense that plays really hard, and they've been doing that for a few years now, and this year won't be an exception. I'm sure. Got good talent, good talent level. Mix that with the things that they do schematically and how hard they play. They do a really good job.
Yeah, and I want to say this too. Cooper said before we even started recording that he's really impressed with the defensive front. It's kind of odd that the ACC, I think, has this reputation of being sort of soft, but when you look at the Wolfpack up front, it's not like that.
Yeah, no, I think there's definitely some really good teams that kind of stand out in the ACC, and NC State being one of them for sure. Especially I mean, like last year, they did some really good things, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously I didn't get to scout much of their offense. I don't really know how they did there, but from what I've seen from the last year and then this year, they're a really good team.
No doubt about it. And you said you like their scheme and a lot of the different things that they were able to do. One of the things that you guys were able to do that I would think would be beneficial down the line is you're able to get out of the game in the first half. Um, how much, especially with a college football playoff, could that help both in terms of health and also, Cooper, how much could it help just in terms of overall energy from week to week to week as it compiles over the season?
It's big time. I think you got to go out, like we said, we were talking about, with what Nico was saying about going out there and making sure we handle our business the right way and doing things the right way. That way you can have the luxury of getting out. And you got to take advantage of those opportunities when it's time. If you get a team that you feel like you can get out early on and kind of end it quick, you have to do it. Because, in this day of college football, if you're trying to go all the way, that's a long stretch of a season. You got to do the right things to make sure that you make it all the way through.
It's weird now because a lot of people said that the college football playoff would minimize the regular season because you can lose a game or two and make the playoff. But I find myself watching games I would never watch and comparing them to you guys. Do you watch any more football or you just stick to what you do?
Man, I usually just stick to what I do. I may turn on some NFL football tonight. Obviously, don't really get to watch much college football other than in the hotel on Saturdays. But um, yeah, no, I got so much stuff to do, man. I got so much stuff to watch on my own stuff. I can't even get on TV anymore. Really, not a big fan of it.
I understand that. Now, one of the guys you'll be watching the NFL is Trey Smith. So, your thoughts on Trey? As this obviously is going to be a big year for him.
Oh man, he's awesome. Just does the right stuff all the time, and you know, just handles his business the best way you possibly can. Does it consistently. So you know, just great things are gonna happen for that guy, and they're gonna continue to happen because he just does stuff the right way.
I think this is a contract year for him, right?
This would be.
This is kind of a contract year for you too. I know that you're focused on each and every game, but when you go into a season and you know that that's your year that you're going to be judged on primarily, does it have any effect on your mindset?
It probably could, it probably shouldn't though. You should theoretically you should be preparing the same way every single year, and there shouldn't be any type of shift in your attention to detail. You should already be there, but everybody has their own things that they're striving for and trying to reach. So, I guess it differs on the person.
As far as your play and going out there, obviously an overmanned opponent. I got a lot of respect for Chattanooga's program. But just in terms of what you did and right steps and technique and those sort of things, were you pleased with how you played personally?
Yes, I thought I played pretty good, and I thought it went really well. I felt like we did a good job pushing the tempo, and the offense did good. Didn't have any bust or any tackles for loss, pressures or anything. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with it.
You were one of the first to tell me that Dylan Samson was going to be good, and that's a couple years ago, I guess. And um, I'm going to try to make a comparison, and you tell me if I'm crazy, okay? And I may be too old. You may not remember this guy. You remember Marshall Falk?
Not watching him, I've played with him on Madden though, so I
Okay,
kind of know what you're.
I'll take it.
I
I'll
know a
take
little bit of what you're doing.
right. Even played with him. I'm suddenly the oldest person in the in Knox County. Okay, so he was a guy that could do a little bit of everything and excelled with his speed and quickness. Had some power, as Dylan does. What do you think of that comparison, at least virtually?
From the way you've explained it, it seems pretty right on. He's a guy that can do everything. He's versatile, like can play in the pass game, can do kind of whatever you need him to out of the backfield, running or passing wise, and just super elusive. Can make big plays happen anytime. So if that's Marshall Falk, which it kind of sounds like it was, that's
Yeah,
pretty good one.
I think he was one of the first to kind of be that type of guy, which now a lot of them have multi-purpose roles. As far as some other offensive linemen, I wanted to get your take on them. Were there any other offensive linemen that graded out well that you were particularly pleased with as the leader of the group?
I thought we all played good, honestly. I mean, especially with the ones like just getting in there and playing as a unit. I thought we played all five. I felt like we played a complete kind of game and played together and took a step in the right direction. I thought our tempo was good. Um, Still a lot of work to be done, but I thought it was a good showing for our O line in general. I think we had like, I mean, I can't take any credit for the passing yards, but the rushing yards, I think we had around near like 300 probably. So, I mean, that's pretty stout.
Yeah, is you've had a couple of really good ones. So I'm curious. I don't know where you'll go here, but could this be your best five in terms of running the football that since you've been at Tennessee?
I don't really know. I can't say anything about that right now. That's
A little
we've
early.
got a lot of ball left to play to crown anybody yet, but we've had some good fives. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Some good ones over the few years I've been here.
Yeah, you have. And we mentioned one of them too. And that you mentioned tempo a couple of times. So I'd like to play off that a little bit. The tempo seemed really smooth. Did it feel different than maybe last year for whatever reason?
I think it probably would have to do with me if it did have any difference. Maybe I was faster this game. I don't know. I'm the one that controls the tempo. So if it felt faster, you guys can, I guess, blame me for being slower last year, or you can just say that I did a good job being faster. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize it was as much you controlling the tempo, but I guess it is because you got to get up there and get on the ball, right?
Yeah, I'm the guy that sets us all up.
Okay, so it's not the quarterback saying go go go. They don't have to say that. So in terms of that role, did you feel like you played faster than at times last year?
I felt like it went pretty smooth. Yeah, I felt like we did pretty good as far as just having a rhythm, moving it down the field. It seemed like it kind of just played out really well.
Yeah, I was very impressed. Going back to last year, missing the first few games with the abdominal injury that we talked about. Did you feel like you ever, or how long did it take you to get to the point where you felt like you were moving at the tempo last year that you wanted to?
Honestly, I mean, it probably didn't seem like it the first game, but I was in pretty good, decent shape. Like I I kind of shared like a little life hack if anybody's ever doing any type of exercising or playing in a football game. If you find yourself playing in a football game or something, go ahead and take 2 shots of beet juice and just see how much better you breathe. That's a life hack. So
Two
I mean,
shot. Where did you hear beet juice?
where did I hear about it?
Yeah.
We. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just what we've always had it here in Tennessee. I think everybody does it. I think every sports team usually sets out beet juice for their players before the games.
Okay. I feel stupid because I've been around football for 25 years covering it, but I didn't know that. What does beet juice do for you?
Beet juice helps. I'm not sure exactly. I may be saying it wrong, but like I think that it helps your body get your oxygen to your blood better. Like it something to do with beet juice. What they have in them, it just make you circulate your blood faster or better to your muscles. So you're not gonna get as fatigued. That goes for your legs, your arms, lungs, whatever.
Wow. How does it taste?
Nasty, super nasty. But you know what else is nasty? Not being able to breathe in 100-degree weather. That's also nasty. So
Oh, and potentially losing, if you can't breathe. I
yeah,
mean,
that's a whole nother ordeal for sure.
um, as a big guy, man, I'm a big guy and I've been a bigger guy. Um, what was that heat like out there?
With 3 shots of beet juice with an extra shot, wasn't that bad.
Dude, come on. It was like, I mean, it's
It
like 98 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was pretty bad, but like if you I don't know. It was okay. I've been hitting the sauna. I've been drinking beet juice. I've been trying to get my mental better, not focus on the problems and just kind of ignore them, and it kind of gets better. So,
I love this guy. Cooper's so inspiring to me. It's like he's in my head half the time.
oh man, that's interesting.
No,
All right.
it is. We all have these little things we battle. And I was kind of thinking the same thing just yesterday. I'm not going to worry about the little things. You've obviously got a big thing coming up Saturday, and when you guys play at this neutral site environment, what challenges, if at all, is there when you go to a neutral site game? Is it just like a road game, or how is that more challenging or less challenging?
I guess it would kind of be like a bowl game. I mean, minus the 5 days of being there. I don't really know. I mean, it's like you're not at home, so you don't get a home field advantage, but you're not truly away. So theoretically, it shouldn't be as bad. Um, yeah, I mean, the challenge of not being at home, but not as challenging, hopefully, as being away in somebody else's home environment.
Let me ask you this. Is it inspiring because you your fan base, Tennessee's fan base, travels as good as anybody, as well as anybody, excuse me. Um, but is it inspiring to you when you look up and you see like Pitt in 2022, 70 to 80% of the fans seem like they were orange?
It's huge. We need every bit of that. Everybody knows Tennessee fans are great, but yeah, it's huge, it's big time.
Oh, he's great. Cooper Mays. Again, it's brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. That's cityheatandair.com. Don't call another HVAC dealership that could overcharge you. It's City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. For Cooper Mays, I'm Dave Hooker. This has been a presentation of Off the Hook Sports.